Hello and welcome back to Talkin Pitch Side. I am your host PJ and I am solo casting tonight. Our good friend Tony had other commitments and I'm going out of town tomorrow, so we need to get in this specific time. So it is a solo cast today to talk through the MLS preview for game week 22 approaching. We're getting close to the back third here on the season. So quickly approaching, playoffs are approaching, a lot of movement, transfer window movement. A lot has happened in the transfer window. We will probably do an episode where we're going to recap everything here after it closes. I believe next week is the official close of the transfer window, and just kind of realign where everybody is, who's made moves, who hasn't made moves, and make sure everyone's up to date. Of course, we've been covering some of the big ones as we've gone through. A few more to cover today as we go through our preview as well. But today, solo cast, what we'll do is just a preview of all the games for the weekend. Get my prediction. We'll get Stin's predictions at the end to make sure you are well informed on where you should be guessing this weekend. Okay, well, we'll get started here in a unique spot, which you don't say this often. 4:30 start time for Seattle on Saturday for the game. They're playing Chicago, of course. This is now new look Seattle with Dejan Joveljic most likely going to be starting in this one, I'd assume, against Chicago and Lewandowski. This one's it's actually unique. I don't know what the bump Seattle's going to get is, or what kind of bump they're going to get from getting Joveljic, like how much it's really going to change. We talked about it last episode where, yes, like this is a great addition. This is something that Seattle doesn't normally do, which is awesome. But I still feel like there's so many injuries and so many holes in this team that I'm still concerned about how much it's really going to change this team. And then Chicago on the road, trying to continue their form and continue to stay atop of that top three in the East. It's been a little bit up and down, of course, for them. They just lost to Monterrey 2-1 in Leagues Cup, which MLS did not showcase super well in Leagues Cup. We lost all four games in the semifinals, so that was brutal. And then before that, they drew Red Bulls, but had won quite a few in a row before that. So I think at this point, they're probably just looking to bounce back. I think they'd be okay with a point on the road here, but fully capable of getting all three. We'll see what kind of lineup they roll out with Leagues Cup just happening yesterday and seeing kind of like where fitness is with a lot of these guys and if Lewandowski starts specifically. But Seattle, Chicago, I think I'm going to give Seattle the new striker bump, the new player bump. If Joveljic starts, I'm giving Seattle something they have not gotten in so long. I think it's been 10 or so games since they've won a game. They're winning a game this weekend. I'm calling 4:30 Seattle wins. Joveljic gets a goal and scores the game-winning goal for Seattle against Chicago. So I'm going for the upset for the storyline in this one specifically. Next game, we have Atlanta United versus Charlotte. An Atlanta side that's playing really well. This is one of those like weird, like kind of rivalries. These two fan bases, I think, treated as such, but it's not necessarily like recognized across the MLS per se. But these two, I think, have a little bit of rivalry going. Atlanta on a hot streak for the first time this year, won 3 games in a row. Charlotte just won 3-1 against DC after a 3 draw against Toronto and won 3-1 against Columbus before that. So a little bit up and down. We were on Charlotte saying that they need to bounce back, and they have. I mean, they've won 2 of the last 3, 7 points their last 9, and I think that this is a continue like to prove it to me type game where I do actually think Charlotte's going to be in a fine place in the Eastern Conference to make the playoffs. But on the road in Atlanta side that's playing well. I know it's still an Atlanta side with holes. It'll be interested to see if Embolo plays in this one. I think that'll be a good, interesting storyline in this. If he does play, I mean, regardless, I'm gonna go draw on this one. I think this is gonna be a well fought game. I think this Atlanta side is actually playing with a little bit of something lately, which I'm happy to see for this Atlanta fan base. It's been a rough go for them for quite a while now. So I'm gonna go draw between Atlanta and Charlotte, and I think they're gonna find a way to get some shared points here on the road for Charlotte as well. I think I'd still like to see St. Maxi get involved a little bit more. He's looked dynamic, just hasn't been really getting goals and assists yet. I still think he's capable of just one of these games popping off and changing it at the drop of a dime. So excited to see how this one goes for him. DC LAFC is this next 7:30 game. LAFC having to go across country, quite literally, to DC to play in this one, which I think could play an effect. And LA has not looked great. I can't get a read on this team. I like their talent. I like the players. I just they're so up and down. It concerns me. DC's not a great team though, so I'm gonna go LAFC all 3 points on the road. I I don't feel great about it. I think that there's a chance you could see them lose or draw this game, but I just believe in the talent too much. I think Son needs to get back in the score sheet. Good to see Bouanga getting back in the score sheet. So I think if those two can just get clicking in some way, this team can get rolling again. We just need to see it. It's been a really weird go for them. Next game here, we have Miami at home versus Montreal. This one could get ugly quick. I think Miami is going to eat Montreal alive. Now, every time I say that when Miami plays at home, they tend to not do it. I just one of these games they're gonna pop off. Like it's just gonna happen, and I think that talent wise they're just so far ahead of Montreal. It would be cool seeing Alexis Sanchez go back up against Messi. It's gonna be like looking back in the 2010s of football for a second, watching Luis Suarez, Sanchez, Messi, uh, Casemiro all on the field. Like you're to think you're looking into the Barclays Prem and the prime of La Liga. So I think it'll be interesting to see those two go at it. But like I said, I think this is all Miami. I think they dominate this one. I think it's like 4-5-1, and they need some wins at home because they haven't been doing well. The goalie's still super weird for this team. I have no idea who the number one goalkeeper is for Miami right now. I I don't think they know. They just hired a new coach, and so there's a lot of movement going on. So we'll see. Miami's still up there. They'll be fine come playoff time, but I think that there's still some game here that they're just going to pop off completely, and I think it's going to be this one. So I'm going to go Miami at home, winning by a significant margin. Red Bulls, Baby Bulls, and Philly. This is a fun game. A lot of young talent showcase, a lot of U.S. young talent. So if you're a U.S. men's national team fan, this I think is your game to watch for the weekend. You've got, of course, Kevin Sullivan, Pierre, Julian Hall was in the news cycle. He just signed a contract extension with Red Bulls. Is now a U22 initiative player. So I think that's all just a pay bump really for him. That's good for him. Good on Red Bulls. The amount of times we see MLS teams not lock down these younger guys on contracts blows my mind because yes, like there might be a little pay bump, but we've seen so many guys leave over the last couple of years on free deals or cheap transfers because teams did not lock them down on contracts, and it's just come to bite them in the butt. And I'm glad Red Bulls smart enough. They get this deal done. They get Julian Hall extended, so when he inevitably gets transferred over the next 2 years, they're getting a payday for it. Like that's just why you do this. Like for the top end talent like this, like seeing Sebastian Berhalter leave for nothing because he wasn't on a contract is just so infuriating for Vancouver. That's why you got to lock these guys up. I know it's a little bit different. Julian Hall's younger, but in the same breath, I think it's a great deal for Red Bulls. In this one specifically, I'm going to go draw. I think we've seen ups and downs for both these teams. Phillies come back to earth a little bit here. They're not playing as like fiery as they were. I want to say fiery, like I guess they're not playing so dominant as they were coming out of the World Cup. They're still playing that fire, we've seen with all the fights going on with them. But I think that talent wise, seeing Kevin Sullivan go every week, it's just been a treat. Like this, we're seeing the next generation of the U.S. men's national team right before our eyes, and he's delivering. And you're also seeing that talent on the Red Bull side. So this is like watching the 2030s U.S. men's national team in a MLS match, really, with some of these guys. So definitely tune in. And I'm going to go draw. I think it's shared. I think you're going to see Kevin Sullivan continue to impress, and you're going to see a lot of these young Red Bulls players continue to get minutes. And we don't know what they're doing with Choupo-Moting still. We talked about that last episode. It's kind of bizarre. I think he's just going to walk at the end of the year, so we'll see how that one ends. But I'm going to go a shared points in this one at home for the Red Bulls. Toronto at home versus NYCFC. Toronto, of course, coming off the big win in Miami. Josh Sargent finally getting a goal again. That's great to see. NYCFC, I like them. They're just like a confusing team right now. I can't put with them. I think they have all the talent in the world. Believe they won last game. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe they did win last game. Let's see here. No, they drew the Revolution and have been losing to FCC and Philly before that. So they are more talented than they're playing right now. And I think it's going to come around eventually. I've been picking a lot of draws, and I feel like this is another draw. I think I don't want to overreact to Toronto's win against Miami on the road. I don't want to overreact to NYCFC sliding. So I'm gonna go draw. I think these are two teams, just the way they've been playing. I think you could see shared points in this one, and see that Toronto still has a hard time winning at home. It's just a talented NYCFC team that I believe in too much. Houston at home versus San Jose. Oh gosh, this one hurts my soul because I was so high on San Jose, and they've let me down so hard. Of course, they bring in the new transfer. They're trying to change things up. I'm worried. I'm worried that this team's kind of like crumbling a little bit. I think they were running on so high in confidence. I don't think Werner's available for this game. And Houston's just played so well. I know they're coming off their first loss in a little bit, but they just find ways to win games, and you're going to see them, I think, continue to do the same at home, especially in front of that home audience. I think you're going to see a great showing from Houston at home here. I think it might be another just crushing San Jose loss. I think this could be like 2-3 nothing type deal. So I don't like to say it, but I think it's very possible. So I'm going to go Houston in a significant margin at home against San Jose. Minnesota at home versus Orlando. Minnesota's the side we were worried about and concerned how they hadn't won since it was like May or something like that. Like it had been a long drought, and then they just destroyed San Jose. Destroyed San Jose on the road. Big win for them. Now going back home against Orlando, who's coming off a win with a Griezmann brace. So great for them. I'm trying not to overreact to that Minnesota win because as great as a win as it was, like I said, it's been the first one since May. So it's been a rough stretch. And this Orlando attack I really like. I like how it's coming together. Their defense concerns me, but I think they can do enough on the road. So I'm going to go Orlando on the road in this one. Got to pick some wins. Got to pick some road dogs. Nashville at home versus FC Cincinnati, a game I will be in attendance for in Nashville on the road, visiting some friends. So that will be a fun watch for me. I think this is probably the game of the week, and I've got to imagine just the talent on these two teams. So I'm going to go, of course, Cincinnati because I'm biased and I'll self-admit that. But no, this is going to be a tough game for Cincinnati defensively to try and keep Nashville from scoring. I think you could see a high-scoring affair in this one, like a 3-2. And I'm going to go Cincinnati, like I said. But I think if you were unbiased, Nashville just keeps finding ways to win. So that's why, as an FCC fan, I'm concerned because you can play a great game for 80 minutes and Nashville will find a way to win at the end. And their talent is there. They've got the bodies. Now, FCC has some bigger guys up in the back that match up against Surge and these guys very well. They haven't always showed it. Miles Robinson playing a lot better lately. It's like quietly just like finally improving for this FCC defense. So that's been big for them. But this Nashville side is going to be tough, especially on the road. It's always going to be tough. That's a good crowd. It'll be going nuts on a Saturday night. So I expect a good atmosphere and a very competitive game, high-scoring game in this one. SKC at home versus Vancouver. SKC, of course, in the news for a lot of transfer work. Dejan Joveljic out. Owen Wolf in. Big transfer out of Austin FC. Shocker. Came out of nowhere. He's had a rough year over in Austin. Austin in general is having a weird year. New management, new coach, new front office. Like, this move doesn't surprise me if they don't think the kid fits their profile. But he's just such a good young talent. And I think it's a great move for SKC. I think it fits their timeline if he's going to stay in the MLS. That's the big if. Like, I don't know long term if he's here for good. But he is a great guy to run your midfield. And they said when they transferred Joveljic, hey, we wanted to reset our timeline a little bit, get guys in here that we can build around and put more money in the roster in other places. Owen Wolf immediately comes in for about like $2 million less than they sold Joveljic for. So math says like, hey, you still have 2 million left that you didn't spend that you can use in other players or in the facility or whatever. So I think it's good work. I mean, Owen Wolf I think is a really good player. I mean, last year people were talking about him like one of the best midfielders in the league. So I think this is a great move for SKC to start building the blocks. They need to start. It wasn't just a Jovic away; like it was quite a few spots away, and I think this is a great spot to start at for them. Now they're gonna be playing Vancouver though, and like I said, build for the future. Future's not today, and Vancouver is good right now, and they're going to steamroll SKC on the road. I think this is probably like 4-1, and it's gonna be pretty dominant from Vancouver. Colorado at home against RSL. Two teams that are very up and down right now. I can't get a read on these guys. Colorado, you think they're turning around. They win 3 in a row, and then they get smacked by San Diego, who have been playing better lately. RSL have come out of these breaks and have not been looking great. Like they did well in Leagues Cup, but then just got destroyed like 3-0 last night. And in MLS, the last 3, they've lost 2 of 3. Drew the other one against a Minnesota side that's not been playing well. So this is a team that's desperate for a win. Now playing on the road, I think it's a high scoring game. I think I'm going to go draw. I just don't see much separating these teams right now. And I think they're both in an okay spot. I don't know. I'm going to lean the home team in that scenario. So I'm going to go draw, even if RSL is more talented. Excuse me. The last couple of games here, we have Portland at home versus Austin. Austin also in the news, like I said, for Owen Wolf. Portland also in the transfer news. Kevin Kelsey out. Sold to Rangers for, I think, a $13 million fee. Great deal. They got him, just over a year ago, I think, for about like 6 or 7. So I've doubled the value. Right time to sell if that's the case. Like, he's been playing terrific this year. Sucks for Portland this year and just like what they're doing. I mean, I don't think they're really going to be making much noise. So that's why you're making a deal like this. Good for Kevin Kelsey. Came to FCC, was okay, and went back from off loan and then got a deal done with Portland. Has really taken the next steps forward and been a good striker in the MLS. So I think big next step to Rangers. Like, if he can be the guy at Rangers, it'd be a fun story to watch. Like, it's a guy that I will keep an eye on because he FCC alum and just been so talented. So excited to see where that goes. As for this game, I mean, two teams that are selling talent. I'm still going to go Portland at home and just rely on the home team in this scenario. I don't believe in either of these teams. I don't think either of these teams believe in themselves. So I'm just going to lean home team and go Portland at home winning this one. San Diego at home against LA Galaxy. San Diego, I've said it to Tony now multiple times. I think they're really circling back to what they were doing at their best last year here lately. And I feel good about it. I mean, take out the one game that Drag got the red card, like this team has looked really good. And LA Galaxy, not looking great. I just, Chucky Lozano's not fixing anything over there. There's major issues with this team and this club. I think there's going to be some wholesale type stuff that's happening this offseason, possibly with the coaching staff and some of these players. So I'm going to go San Diego. I think in San Diego, they take care of business, and it's pretty convincing. So San Diego at home for sure. Moving on, next here, we have Columbus on Sunday at 4:30 at home against New England. Columbus has now been sliding. They've had a rough go at it lately. New England, of course, sitting still in that top group of Eastern Conference team. And I'm going to believe in them on the road. Columbus is just a really bad stretch. I mean, lost 3-1 to Charlotte, lost 2-1 to Montreal, choked away the game against Nashville, and then they lose 2-0 against Club America. Really bad stretch. And New England comes into this one coming off a draw against NYCFC, winning against DC after 2 losses. They've been bouncing back. I'm going to go New England on the road. I just, it's more has to do with Columbus and the holes they have on this team right now. Like they've just really been struggling. Last game here, we have St. Louis at home against Dallas. St. Louis haven't lost in 12 games now, while selling like their best players. It's really bizarre. I don't really know if they're going to do anything else in this transfer window to bring anybody in, but I'm still going to go them. I think I'm just going to go St. Louis until they lose at this point. So I'm going to go St. Louis to get all 3 points against Dallas. I think Peter Musa probably gets a goal here, but I think St. Louis attack has looked that good. I think they can get 3 goals against Dallas and win this game. So I'm going to go St. Louis getting all 3 points at home. Okay, before we wrap up and get to the end here, let's hear what Stin has for us and his picks. Like I said, if you're someone who likes to get into picking teams, picking who the winner is, Stin's your guy. Actually, have had a good percentage of hits lately. So I'm going to turn it over to Stin to give us his best picks for the week.
This turf war is not artificial. They also have Lowe's versus Home Depot. Charlotte kind of has that swagger when it comes to playing in the bends. I can't wait for Pep Biel of all people to hit the I swag, I surf, I swag, I surf. Atlanta 1, Charlotte 2. It's really sad that we don't get to test the limits of the new stadium curse here. It would have been fascinating to see if it could be a dead coach bump. I am uncertain of many things, but an Owusu goal here is inevitable. Miami 2, Owusu 1. Played on the James Sands of Lake America, this Stunk Fest has draw written all over it. Both teams have gotten shut out by Vancouver this year. Don't let Toronto's win last week in Miami fool you. Toronto won, NYCFC won. The best of the Midwest, streak down Broadway. Say hi to PJ if you see him. Shout out Nashville for breaking the Crew's heart in the best way possible. BJ Callahan is actually Willie Wee. MLS gets freaky with this matchup. Nashville 2, FCC 2. Chucky returns home. Surely he'll be welcomed with open arms to the club that he domestically terrorized, right? Technically, San Diego pays his salary, so who's the team that he's actually playing for? Imagine a brace here, though. Oh, the cinema that would ensue. San Diego 3, LA Galaxy 2.
Okay, thank you, Stin, as always. He's really been bringing the energy the past couple episodes, so love that, love that. As for the first game he picked, Atlanta, Charlotte, he actually had Charlotte winning on the road. I had shared points in that one, so we disagreed there early. He has Miami beating Montreal. I have it more convincingly. So I'm going to get, we agree technically, but I think we're different on how it's going to go. Toronto, NYCFC, we both had shared points in that one, so we agreed there. Nashville, FCC shared points. Of course, I'm biased, so I always pick FCC, so we don't agree there, but like I said, that's going to be a really fun game to be at. I'm excited to go to that one. And then San Diego Galaxy. I guess I didn't really talk about Chucky returning to San Diego, so that should be fun. He's going to get booed for sure. For sure. Still San Diego winning as well, so we both agree there. So we're pretty aligned this week. I feel good. I feel good about that. I feel good about our chances to get some of these right. And I'm really excited to watch MLS this weekend. And like I said, next week, Tuesday, me and Tony will recap everything that's been going on in the transfer window, close that up, and then, of course, recap all the games and everything that went on the MLS this past weekend. So, shorter episode, more preview, just me alone. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you, Stin, as always, for your picks added on to this. And with that being said, we will see you guys on Tuesday.